Hello, in this video I will show you how to create new puppets and the basics of putting them in a scene and testing them out to make sure they look good. This isn't going to have a lot of detail to it because there currently aren't very many features implemented for puppets, but that will change soon, and I'll make more videos once there is more to do with them. First thing we want to do is head to the scene where we can test the stuff. So first we'll go to the scenes folder and then into the asset testing folder. And then from here, we'll just want to go into the visual novel scene. And feel free to change the stuff in the scene and tweak it. Just know that this is not meant to be something where you save your work in it. This is purely for testing assets and making sure everything looks good. So once we have the scene loaded, let's go to the game view. This is about what you'll see when the game's running. And I recommend setting this to 16 by 9 or 16 by 10. If you leave it at free aspect, it gives you more room than you should have. And just to test everything that works, hitting the play by default will get us a test script, and this is showing various commands and stuff. So that's all working. So to test a puppet, to put a puppet into the scene, I guess first I should show you where the puppets are stored. So puppets are held in the resources folder and then in the puppets folder in there. Each puppet is its own prefab. So to put a puppet into the scene to see how it all looks, easiest way to do that is by doing inside the visual novel scene, do the drop down for cutscene dialogue, and then go to stage, and then puppets. And then we will want to add any puppet we're testing, we want to add it into this. So say if I want to test the Ame puppet, I just drag and drop that into the scene, and then here we go. And if we wanted to tweak this, we can easily tinker with the values. I'll go more in depth on that, but that is the basis for how you can, usually when you're messing with puppets, you want to do it in this way. So I'm going to delete this because we don't want her in there by default. Alternatively, if you just want to quickly open it up, you can double click on a puppet and then go to scene view. And this is the editor view for that puppet. But this is not very useful because even though we do get this box up here, this doesn't really show us anything with how the puppet's going to look in terms of screen space, where they will fit. So it's much more useful to use the game view. So I'm going to click this arrow up here in the hierarchy, go back to the scene. So to make a new puppet, easiest way to do that is just to make a copy of an existing puppet. So I'm going to select Ame here, and then Control D, and this will make a duplicate of Ame. And I will just rename her. I'll just say new puppet. Okay, this should not have any spaces in it, and also should match what the screen name is for the puppet. That is how these names here are how the puppet is referred to in the dialogue script. Okay, so if we let's go back to the game view. If we drag our new puppet into the puppet's object, we can see it here. Let's say we want to change this artwork. Maybe we have some new a new character portrait that we want to use. So the easiest way to do that is for the new puppet, do the drop down and then click on renderer, and there will be this image object. I'll click on this dial, and since it's the only other one we have, I'm going to pick Yuto's image. And it does this annoying thing where it thinks that our new image should be sliced. It should not. You want it to be simple. So this is the first thing to check, because right now we're just seeing his legs, which is no good. So that definitely helped a lot, but this isn't quite perfect. Maybe we want to adjust the height. Easiest way to do that is adjust the Y position on the renderer. So I'll just slide this, like, let's say, I'm going to make this different from the other one, so we're going to make this one very short. So like negative 1000 looks good. And then once you are happy with this, how everything's set up, we need to save our changes to the prefab, because right now we're just working with a copy of the prefab and not the original prefab. So if you were just to save right now, it would not remember these changes. So to save it, select the base object for the new puppet, and then over in the inspector, click on this overrides dropdown and just hit apply all. Once you do that, if you check overrides again, it says no overrides. This means everything's saved. So then you're now safe to, it's now safe to delete the puppet out of the view. I'll go ahead and save. So once you have your puppet in the folder here, that is all you need to do. The system will now be able to pick up this new puppet and use it in dialogue. So to showcase this, I'm going to go into this test script, and I will fade in, we called it new puppet. We'll fade them onto the left and say new puppet. I'm actually Nijito. And then, so with that saved, if we hit play now, we should see our new puppet appear. There we go. And so you can see this one's lower than the actual Yudo. I did that mostly as a way just to demonstrate that these are actually considered different characters. And again, if I wanted to, I could rename this, but then I'd just keep in mind renaming these will cause it to, you'd have to go and update every time that character is referred to in the dialogue to this new name. So say if I rename Ami to, not Ami, and then if I hit play, when it goes to pull up Ami's sprite, it will just come up with a blank. Right now it's a circle. This will probably change in the future to something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but at the moment, this is what you'll see. So if you do see something like this, it means something's wrong with the dialogue, or Puppet has the wrong name or something. But let's see, if you go to the console, it will say what the problem is. So in this case, it could not find Ami, but it's because we changed her name. That is the basics of how you work with puppets. I'm sorry if this is a little bit complex, but if you want to research it more, look into how prefabs work, and it's essentially just that. Yeah, I hope this has been useful. Again, feel free to ask me questions if anything is confusing or unclear.